Alrighty guys, so in the last video we talked about how to use the Micros 60. Now the MLS department has 4 individual Micros 60s. Now with that being said, Micros number 1 is a little bit different than the other 3 Micros that we have. Now ultimately it looks the same. We have the Micros unit itself, the laptop computer associated with it, as well as the printer. But there's something different about this one comparatively to the rest of them. You'll notice that for the sample, or for the sampler, instead of it being a test tube holder, that it's actually an aspirating needle with a button in the back. So I'm making a separate video because there's a slight difference when it comes to running patient samples on Micros number 1 if you're assigned to it compared to the other 3. Now, I'm not going to go through it through everything step by step like I did on the previous one, but just to show you, in the event that you are assigned to Micros number 1, it's the exact same process. You see here we have the exact same button menu, and I'm going to go through the same steps. You see here we still have startup, standby, start, and ID. If I want to run a patient sample, I have to hit ID. So when I hit ID, I'm going to go ahead and have the option to enter my patient identifier. I'm going to use the same patient identifier as I did on the previous Micros. 01, 31, 25. I've entered my patient ID, and now I can go ahead and process my sample. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And you'll see here for the sampling bar, it'll tell me press sampling bar. The sampling bar is referring to this little peg that's right here in the back. So this one's a little bit different. So if you're having to use this Micros, once you have your patient sample, making sure that it's been well mixed, you're going to bring the test tube up and ensure that the aspiration needle is submerged into the patient sample. And then with a free finger, you're going to push the sampling bar. So you see that the sampling bar retracted back into the instrument, and the analysis has begun. Now I bring this up because you want to be very careful when you're applying the patient sample to the aspiration needle. You want to make sure that you're going straight down the middle of the tube, and you want to be sure not to accidentally bend the probe itself. So just a slight difference, nothing too difficult, just something to be cognizant of.